Muhammad Ali was talking to a reporter in a Los Angeles gym when someone mentioned Chuck Norris. The greatest boxer in the world laughed and said, "Karate? That's just dancing in pajamas. Put him in a ring with me for 30 seconds." What happened 3 days later, when Ali and Norris ended up in the same gym, shocked everyone who witnessed it. This is that story. February 1971. Muhammad Ali was 29 years old and untouchable. He'd beaten every challenger, destroyed every opponent, and built a persona larger than the sport itself. He was the greatest, and he made sure everyone knew it. His confidence wasn't arrogance. It was earned. He'd fought the best and won. He'd talked the biggest and backed it up. In Ali's world, nothing and nobody could challenge him. He was at the peak of his powers, moving faster than heavyweights had any right to move, hitting harder than men twice his size, and doing it all with a style that made boxing look like art. Every gym he walked into became his stage. Every conversation became his performance. Chuck Norris was 31 years old and a name most people outside martial arts circles had never heard. Six-time undefeated karate world champion, a technician, a student of discipline who let his record speak instead of his mouth. He taught classes in Los Angeles, trained quietly, and avoided the spotlight. While Ali performed for cameras, Chuck worked in empty gyms at 6 a.m. His philosophy was simple: let the work speak. No interviews, no boasting. Just constant refinement of technique until movement became instinct. They existed in different universes: boxing versus karate, celebrity versus anonymity, volume versus silence, and they'd never met. The interview happened at Main Street Gym in downtown Los Angeles, a old-school boxing facility where fighters sweated through brutal training sessions and the smell of leather and liniment filled the air. Sunlight came through high windows, cutting through the dust and chalk in the air. Speed bags rattled like machine guns. Heavy bags swung on creaking chains. This was where serious fighters came to work, away from the glamour of Vegas and Madison Square Garden. Ali was there working with his trainer, moving through combinations, talking to anyone who'd listen. A sports journalist was doing a feature on combat sports in Los Angeles and asked Ali about the martial arts boom happening in the city. "There's this karate guy," the reporter said, checking his notes. "Chuck Norris, undefeated world champion. People say he's the real deal." Ali smiled that famous smile. "Karate?" he said, loud enough for everyone in the gym to hear. "Man, that's just dancing in pajamas. All that bowing and yelling and breaking boards, that ain't fighting, that's performance art," the reporter pressed. "He's never lost a tournament, 6-time world champion." "Tournaments?" Ali said dismissively. "Controlled environments, points and rules and referees stopping it when it gets real. Put him in a ring with me for 30 seconds, and we'll see how much that karate means when someone's actually trying to hurt you." People in the gym laughed, not because it was particularly funny, but because Ali's confidence was infectious. When the greatest boxer in the world dismissed something, you dismissed it too. "I respect all fighters," Ali continued, his tone shifting slightly, becoming more measured. "But there's fighting and there's fighting. Boxing is the purest combat sport. No kicks, no grappling, just two men and their fists. That karate stuff looks impressive in demonstrations, but put those guys in a real fight, and they don't know what to do." The journalist wrote it all down. The quote would appear in the Los Angeles Times 2 days later. "Muhammad Ali on karate, just dancing in pajamas." What Ali didn't know was that Chuck Norris would read that article. And what neither of them knew was that they'd end up in the same gym 3 days later. The gym was called Athletic Republic, a private facility on the West Side where professional athletes trained away from crowds and cameras. Basketball players worked on conditioning. Football players did off-season strength training. And on Wednesday afternoons, They rented space to martial artists who wanted access to heavy bags and open floor space. Chuck had been training there for 6 months. Wednesday afternoons, 2 to 4 p.m. Same schedule every week. Disciplined, consistent, anonymous. Muhammad Ali showed up that Wednesday because his friend, a Lakers player, had invited him to check out the facility. Ali wasn't scheduled to train. He was just visiting, walking through, talking to people, being Muhammad Ali. At 2:15 p.m., Chuck Norris was in the corner of the main training floor working a heavy bag. White GI pants, no shirt, barefoot. His movements were precise. Each strike deliberate. No wasted motion, no performance. Just technique refined through 10,000 hours of repetition. The sound of his strikes had a specific rhythm. Sharp, clean, mathematical. Ali walked into the training floor with his friend and immediately started working the room. Shaking hands, taking photos, telling stories. He was magnetic. Everyone gravitated toward him. The entire gym's energy shifted to wherever Ali was standing. Chuck noticed the commotion but didn't stop training. He'd seen celebrities before. Los Angeles was full of them. He was here to work. Someone in Ali's group pointed toward Chuck. "That's Chuck Norris." Ali looked over, saw a lean, muscular man hitting a heavy bag with controlled power. "The karate guy?" Ali asked. "Yeah, 6-time world champion, undefeated." Ali watched for a moment. Chuck's technique was clean, fast. But to Ali, who'd spent his entire life studying fighters, it looked too controlled, too perfect. Not the raw, chaotic violence of actual combat. "He's good," Ali said diplomatically, "for what he does." But what happened next changed the trajectory of the afternoon. One of Ali's entourage, trying to impress the champ, walked over to Chuck. "Excuse me, Muhammad Ali's here. He'd like to meet you." Chuck stopped, grabbed a towel, wiped his face. "Sure." They walked over to where Ali stood surrounded by people. Chuck extended his hand. "Mr. Ali, honor to meet you." Ali shook his hand, that famous smile appearing. "Chuck Norris, I've heard about you, the karate champion." "Yes, sir." "You read that article? What I said about karate?" The entire group went quiet. This was the moment everyone in Los Angeles combat sports had been waiting for since the article published. Muhammad Ali and Chuck Norris, face to face. The temperature in the room seemed to drop. People stopped what they were doing. Even the sound of speed bags in the distance seemed to fade. Chuck's expression didn't change. I read it. "You mad? You?" Ali asked, his tone playful but probing. "No, sir. Everyone's entitled to their opinion." "See, that's the thing," Ali said, his voice getting louder, performing now for the growing crowd. "Karate looks impressive, all those kicks and spins, but in a real fight, when someone's coming at you trying to take your head off, all that technique goes out the window. It becomes about who can take a punch and who can deliver damage." Chuck listened, didn't interrupt, didn't react. "I've fought the best boxers in the world," Ali continued. "Men who've trained their entire lives to hurt people, and I've beaten all of them. Not in tournaments with points and rules, in real fights, 12 rounds, 15 rounds, until one man can't continue." "You're the greatest boxer who ever lived," Chuck said simply. "Nobody disputes that." Ali seemed slightly thrown by the lack of defensiveness. He'd expected pushback, an argument. That's what made good stories. Instead, Chuck was agreeing with him. "But," Ali said, pivoting, "you think your karate would work against boxing?" "I think they're different disciplines designed for different purposes," Chuck said carefully. "That's a political answer," Ali shot back. "I'm asking straight up. You think you could hit me?" The gym had gone completely silent now. 30 people watching, waiting. Someone's water bottle sat forgotten on a bench. A jump rope lay coiled on the floor where someone had dropped it. Chuck took a breath. "With respect, Mr. Ali, I'm not here to challenge you. I'm here to train." I'm not challenging you either, Ali said, his tone shifting to something more genuine. I'm curious. Everyone talks about karate like it's some mystical art. I want to see what's real and what's mythology. Chuck looked at Ali for a long moment. What do you want to see? Show me your technique. On the bag. Your best stuff. You want a demonstration? Yeah. Show me what makes you a 6-time world champion. Chuck walked back to the heavy bag. Ali and the crowd followed. Chuck took his position, centered himself, and looked at Ali. This is point fighting karate, tournament style. It's not designed to do maximum damage. It's designed for speed, accuracy, and control. Show me anyway, Ali said. What happened in the next 30 seconds made Muhammad Ali stop smiling. Chuck started with a basic combination. Jab, reverse punch, roundhouse kick, clean, fast, technical. The bag moved but didn't swing wildly, controlled impact. Ali watched, nodded. Impressive, but not shocking. Then Chuck shifted. His stance changed, his energy changed, and he unleashed a combination that seemed to violate physics. 3 punches faster than Ali's eyes could track. A spinning back kick that made the 150-pound heavy bag swing horizontal. A jump spinning hook kick that hit the bag at head height with a sound like a car door slamming. But it wasn't the techniques themselves that shocked everyone. It was the speed, the precision, the absolute control that somehow existed alongside devastating power. Ali's smile faded. His expression shifted to something else. Concentration. Analysis. The look he got when he was studying an opponent and calculating angles, distance, timing. Chuck stopped, stepped back, breathing normally. That's point karate at competition level. Ali didn't respond immediately. He walked up to the heavy bag, touched it where Chuck had been striking it. The leather was warm. Do that kick again, the spinning one. Chuck reset, executed a perfect spinning hook kick. The sound echoed through the gym. Jesus, someone in the crowd whispered. Ali turned to Chuck. His entire demeanor had changed. The showmanship was gone. How fast can you do that? Fast as I need to. Show me. Full speed. Chuck looked at Ali, saw genuine curiosity, not challenge, not ego, real interest. You sure? Yeah. Chuck centered himself again, and then he moved. The combination lasted maybe 3 seconds. But in those 3 seconds, Chuck Norris demonstrated why he was undefeated. A blitz of techniques so fast they blurred together. Punches, elbows, knees, kicks, all flowing in sequence, each strike landing precisely where the previous one set it up. The heavy bag didn't just swing. It seemed to recoil. The chain holding it rattled. One kick made a sound so sharp several people flinched. Chuck stopped, stepped back, completely composed. The gym was silent for 5 full seconds. Someone coughed. A weight clattered somewhere in the distance. Nobody moved. Then Ali started laughing, not mocking laughter, genuine, amazed laughter. "Man," he said, shaking his head. "Man." He walked up to Chuck, extended his hand. "I need to apologize." "No need," Chuck said. "No, I do. I dismissed something I didn't understand. That's ignorance, and I don't like being ignorant." Ali looked at the heavy bag, then back at Chuck. "You move like... I've never seen anyone move like that, and I've seen every fighter worth seeing." "Different training," Chuck said. "Different focus. Can you do that in a real fight, when someone's hitting back? That's what the training is for." Ali nodded slowly. "See, that's what I didn't get. I thought karate was just forms and demonstrations, breaking boards for audiences. But you're training for real combat. Just different rules." "Different context," Chuck agreed. "Boxing is incredible because it's pure, just fists. My training includes everything. Hands, feet, knees, elbows. But it's still just training. What you do in the ring, under pressure, for 12 rounds against men trying to destroy you. That's a different kind of test." Ali studied Chuck. You're faster than me. In kicks, maybe. You're faster in hands. And you have endurance I'll never match. 15 rounds? I train for 3-minute bursts. But in those 3 minutes, different weapons, Chuck said. Same warrior mentality. Ali smiled, but it was different now. Respectful. Chuck Norris. I judged you before I met you. That was wrong. You're the real thing. They shook hands again. This time, it meant something different. Before Ali left that day, he asked Chuck a question. If you had to fight, real fight, life or death, how would it go? Chuck thought about it. I'd try everything to avoid it, but if I couldn't, I'd end it as fast as possible. No performance, no showing off, just survival. That's the right answer, Ali said. That's what separates real fighters from pretenders. Real fighters know fighting is ugly and dangerous and should be avoided. Pretenders think it's glory. 2 weeks later, Ali did an interview with Sports Illustrated. The reporter asked about martial arts in combat sports. I said some things about karate that weren't educated, Ali admitted. I met Chuck Norris, 6-time world champion, and I'll tell you something, that man can fight. Different style than boxing, but the dedication is the same. The skill is real. I respect what he does. He's proven something to me that I didn't understand before. These martial artists, the real ones, they're warriors just like boxers, just different tools. The quote made it into print. Martial arts schools across America cut it out and hung it on their walls. Students who'd been embarrassed by Ali's original dancing in pajamas comment suddenly had vindication. Not because Chuck had challenged Ali or beaten him, but because he'd earned Ali's respect through demonstration of real skill. Chuck never talked about the encounter publicly. Didn't need to. Word spread through the martial arts community anyway. Chuck Norris made Muhammad Ali take back what he said about karate, but that wasn't quite accurate. Ali didn't take it back because he was wrong. He took it back because he learned something. And learning, changing your mind when presented with new information, that's not weakness. That's intelligence. Years later, in 1974, Chuck visited Ali before his fight with George Foreman in Zaire. They talked for an hour. Ali asked about technique, about how Chuck generated power from unconventional angles. Chuck asked about mental preparation, about staying calm under pressure when the entire world was watching. Two champions from different worlds, speaking the same language of dedication and discipline. Ali told Chuck, "You and me, we understand something most people don't. Real skill takes years nobody sees. The performance is 3 minutes or 3 rounds, but the preparation is endless." When Ali died in 2016, Chuck released a statement. Muhammad Ali was more than a great boxer. He was a man who could admit when he was wrong, who could learn, who treated people with respect once he understood them. The world lost a champion, and I lost a friend. The lesson wasn't about boxing versus karate. It was about assumptions, about judgment, about having the humility to change your mind when you encounter something real. Muhammad Ali learned that skill has many forms. Chuck Norris learned that respect is a two-way street. And everyone in that gym that Wednesday afternoon learned that greatness recognizes greatness, regardless of the discipline. That heavy bag Chuck used that day stayed at Athletic Republic for another 20 years. Trainers would point to it and tell the story of the day Muhammad Ali watched Chuck Norris and changed his mind about martial arts. Some people thought it was legend. Others knew it was history.